Kentucky's Indian Fort Mountain is located a few miles east of Berea and is part of Berea College's forest reserves. In May of 2015, we visited the site intending to film and photograph portions of enigmatic stone walls that were built there over 2,000 years ago. About 12 miles of trails wind through the dense woods, leading to several spectacular views from the crests of high peaks and sheer limestone cliffs. Most people walk the trails without noticing the structures that gave the mountain its name. Our own trek on the trails lasted nearly 5 hours, in part because we wandered several trails to their ends, often making us double back to another one of the trail splits. The irregularly shaped mountain has a fairly flat top that was seemingly made into a fortress in ancient times. In areas where the top can be reached without scaling the sheer cliffs on the sides, Native Americans constructed huge stone walls to block access, creating a massive enclosure. Most modern archaeologists believe that the walls served a ceremonial function and have dated them to the Hopewell period. In 1923, the geologist Wilbur Burroughs issued a map of the site and described 17 different walls that had been constructed in places where the sheer limestone cliffs around the flat top ridge were not present. Many of the walls have been destroyed, but several massive ones still exist.
This is a Hopewell fort with stone walls, although it would seem that most of the stone walls have been destroyed. But what gets me is the fact that stone walls built by Native American peoples can be accepted in Kentucky. So why can't they be accepted in New England, where there are literally hundreds, possibly even thousands of miles of stone walls, many of them connected with chambers and other natural features like caves and rock shelters? I don't understand why they can be accepted here but not in New England.
In 1980, archaeologist David G. Moore excavated a mound associated with the stone wall enclosure on Indian Fort Mountain. Copper artifacts were found with human skeletal remains, and they were linked to the Hopewell. Moore also made a trench through wall number 7, one of the huge walls we visited.
And in this particular section, somebody has been digging into it. Who knows, could be archaeologists, could be treasure hunters, and what it's done is to reveal the exact nature of this wall and the presence of all these different types of rock together.
The wall is 380 feet long and was split through by a logging road that now serves as one of the trails. The wall is 15 to 25 feet wide and 10 to 20 feet in height. Carbon dates taken from charcoal from wall areas dated to 580 BC and AD 40. The wall was comprised of stone blocks densely packed with earth and still has that same appearance today. On their application for designation on the National Registration for Historic Places, the walls are described as Hopewell Indian walls, with their purpose believed to be markings for a ceremonial site. They're described as linear mounds of rock. However, the walls at Indian Fort Mountain appear to be linked more to the earlier Adena culture. The Adena constructed dozens of massive hilltop forts and ceremonial enclosures. It's a major mystery, and it's believed that some of these imposing structures were used for defensive purposes. The Adena appear to have been besieged by unknown invaders, but the true function of Indian Fort Mountain remains unknown and is lost in time.